That's bad.
A brochure of the Bishop Motel, famous for its tranquility. They're gonna have to find a new claim to fame. There was coffee spilled on the carpet. There's a clear footprint. If I want to collect this clue, I'd better follow procedure. Otherwise, no analysis would be possible.
The cause of death is identical for all of the victims. Gunshot at close range to the forehead. The measurement of the wound indicate that the bullets were 9mm. There are similar marks on the bodies, marks left around the neck by a metal object, rope burn or restraining injuries on the wrists and ankles. Minor, non-lethal wounds caused by a great variety of instruments, distributed over the entire body. Wounds were inflicted while the victims were still alive. A number of wounds led to significant, yet never lethal, blood loss. Burns were noted on the bodies, and analysis of these burns showed that they were caused by repeated electrical shocks. The toxicological exams have revealed traces of toxins in the body, substances that impair sensory and motor function, or which would cause a paralysis of the limbs. The victims were not killed in the same places where the bodies were discovered, which in part explains the total absence of clues on at the sites. The bodies were cleaned with water and certain chemical agents clearly intended to confound evidence gathering. Killer's profile. Let's see, he's an adult male between 30 and 40 years old. He's relatively tall, between 5'9 and 6'2", with an average build. He moves and expresses himself calmly and with ease. Since the killer records himself at work and sends the video to the police and media, he has adopted an outfit that hides his face and changes the sound of his voice. Wearing this outfit allows him to impress his victims, mask shiny black material, while maintaining a distance and power over them. The killer never identified himself. He has been dubbed the East Coast Killer by the media. This theatrical name was inspired by the movies sent by the killer and his modus operandi. All his victims were discovered in New England on the east coast of the United States. The killer seems amused by this nickname. He has adopted it and mentions it in some of his messages. Personality traits: methodical, manipulative, fetishistic, solitary. The killer tries to satisfy a desire for omnipotence, for absolute control. His actions are all designed to accomplish this. Satisfying this fantasy of domination allows him to forget that he is incapable of having close relationships. Lacking empathy, he takes revenge on his victims, young women, who are, in his mind, temptresses. The killer spent his childhood in a rural environment, around a dysfunctional family. The father was absent, physically or psychologically. As a lonely child in constant conflict with his mother, he grew up in an isolated environment watching a lot of TV. Left on his own, he took refuge in morbid and perverted imaginary world, in which he remained prisoner. He took pleasure in trapping and torturing wild animals, then domestic ones, eventually leading him to envision new prey. He chooses his victim when his urges become too powerful. If he acts according to precise criteria, these have not yet been clearly identified. His victim is always a young woman of about 20 years of age. He abducts his victim when she is alone, no witnesses, using an incapacitating drug. He takes his victims to a secure and isolated place. He is mobile, but does not use his vehicle as the venue for his killings. The killer owns a pickup-type vehicle. He locks up his victim in an environment that he has specially prepared. He humiliates his victim, placing a collar around her neck. He weakens his victim by giving her drugs and tying her up. He then satisfies his thirst for domination by playing with the victim, hounding her, terrorizing her, making her go through sick obstacle courses, filming her the entire time. The sadistic game can last several days, even a week. The game ends when the killer has had enough of his victim. At this point, the killer tortures his victim one last time to take advantage of the spectacle of her agony and pleas. Then, at a precise moment which he has pre-established, he kills her with a bullet to the forehead. After the death of the victim, he begins the cleansing process and the preparation of the body. He edits his video footage to make a short film meant for the media and the police. He gets rid of the body, leaving it in a discreet spot, probably far from the spot where he commits his murders. The geographic area where the bodies have been found covers several states. He sends copies of his movie to the media and the police, making sure not to leave any fingerprints, etc. He mails them from the town nearest to where he has disposed of his victim's body. Between murders, the killer plays the footage over and over. He is careful to keep material keepsakes of his victims, clothes, hair, in order to relive his crimes and satisfy his urges. In spite of his perversion, the killer demonstrates great intelligence and an immense control. He is the perfect criminal who does not make mistakes, does not leave clues behind. His only Achilles heel is his madness, which pushes him to always do more, to act more quickly, which sooner or later will lead to him making a mistake. Like that.
I've kept you a place in my cold room, McPherson.
I think this creep has it in for me personally. But why? All I want is to see him locked up for the rest of his days.
You don't want him dead. There's a death penalty for a reason.
Hi, Paloma. It's Simmons. You know, your news director, the one who's still waiting for you to call him back. Where are we at with this big scoop of yours? I have a schedule to fill, you know.
Aw, his concern is touching.
I've kept you a place in my cold... I've kept you a...
Hi, Paloma. Where are we at with this...
A camcorder. Probably Hernandez's. It's empty. I think the laptop's busted. But maybe there's a way to recover some of the files from the hard drive. I don't have the necessary supplies to collect a sample.
Well, then talk to the gingerbread man here.
At your service, Agent McPherson. Do you need anything? The killer is really an exceptional criminal. He's so methodical.
This asshole needs to be in complete control. That's his trip. He's taking a real risk filming his murders. He knows that if he makes even the smallest mistake, we'll use it to find him.
I've done a superficial search of the area. The killer used chemical products to clean up the room, but he made sure to leave some clues, to amuse himself. You can go ahead now with the investigation, Agent McPherson. Here's the CSIA kit.
The... what?
It's the new field kit, designed by our labs to do all kinds of scientific testing right at the crime scenes.
Claire would be so jealous if she saw this thing.
I've already entered everything related to Paloma Hernandez in the database to compare it with the samples.
Lovely.
I think the laptop's busted. But
Well, then do that.
I must take a sample of this clue. A camcorder. Probably Hernandez's. It's empty.
Hernandez, not Hernandez. Come on. Tch. The CSIA Crime Scene Investigation and Analysis Kit was developed to allow the taking of samples and the performance of rapid analysis at the scene of a crime. Any in-depth analysis must be conducted in a lab. Contact an accredited person for an expert assessment. The CSIA kit contains a data transfer interface which allows an automatic connection to a smartphone. Digital microscope. Ultralight microscope allows enlarging up to 100 times. Revealing spray. Chemical reactant used to make any bloodstains visible. Dusting powder allows detection of fingerprints invisible to the naked eye. Sampling swab. Sterile cotton. 3D fingerprint scanner. This digital scanner replaces the old molding kits. Sampling tongs. Sterile tongs. Electronic noise. Tool that samples and analyzes gaseous substances in suspension. Computer key. This key allows a secured sampling of computer files. It also contains spy and decrypting software. Chemical analysis. A procedure for chemically analyzing an unknown substance using a series of reactants to determine its nature. An analysis of hair or blood identifies precise features such as the individual's blood type or sex. Computer analysis. Recovers corrupted or partial computer files. The analysis also detects, recovers, and analyzes information on operating systems and software. The cleaning of the digital audio files is possible, but their quality remains limited. Database analysis. Launching this procedure allows the comparison of data, digital fingerprint records, blood samples, ballistic data, with a limited database to identify possible matches. The procedure also allows a limited ballistic analysis. Alrighty. Get to it. What? Oh. 9 victims, all women. Are there other victims? Video sent to the media, recorded with a digital camcorder, and then burned onto DVD. The footage seems to have undergone digital processing, according to Josh, who works in editing. The East Coast Killer, make sure to always use this name in my reports. A tall man dressed in black, face covered with a gas mask, disguised voice, a filter, electronic device, to be established, investigate. He always kills in the same manner. A ritual? He makes his victims suffer before killing them, signs of torture. Who hides behind this mask? FBI, Special Agent McPherson, quite young, less than 30 years old, but experienced and efficient, supposedly solved quite a number of cases, including the Mississippi Alligator and the masked Chicago Killer. Mississippi Alligator? What? Famously prickly, hates the press and the journalists. I won't get any information from her. Special Agent Hawker. In his 40s, an experienced agent, nearly 20 years of service. He seems to be better disposed than McPherson towards the media, a possible source of information if it serves his interests. Fired from the FBI in 2006, probably has many things to tell. To be contacted. Special Agent Garris, assigned to the case a few weeks ago. How will he be accepted by McPherson? Can I squeeze information from him?
I've kept you a place in my cold room, McPherson.
Okay.
It'll never work.
Oh, alright, chill out. Shoe with lug sole, size 10, footprint left by the killer.
A brochure of the Bishop Motel.
Lovely.
The safe is empty. The safe is... This suitcase is locked.
It's not this.
Nice.
Bad idea.
Now we have What's-Her-Face's voice instead of McPherson's. Alright, so we need to find a key. Stop.
A bullet hole. The bullet's been removed. There's a mark on the door. Bullet hole, probably.
Probably. Derp-de-doo.
There's a funny smell near the ventilation system.
Traces of neutralizing gas, narcotic gas, including or inducing unconsciousness. Alrighty.
There's detergent residue here.
It's not this.
Okay.
A blood stain. There's not much. It probably comes from a superficial wound.
Human blood, type O positive. Oh, that's my blood type.
These look like clothing fibers.
What? Where? Oh. Synthetic fibers coated with a chemical product derived from chlorine. No traces of organic residue. Alright, so we still have to find that key.
A camcorder. Probably her...
At your service, Agent McPherson. Do you need anything?
You know anything about lockpicking, Garrus?
Not really. I'm more of an electronics guy. But I do happen to have an electric pick gun. Here.
that it?
Tell us your theory. It's quite different from the leads the FBI are currently chasing.
The East Coast killer doesn't act on sudden impulse, which is what the case profiler contends. I've discovered the basis on which he chooses his victims. Criteria linked to one of his obsessions.
James Hawker. He hasn't given up on the case.
Isn't that your old partner?
Find Hawker for me, Garrus, and get me his file.
At your service, Agent McPherson. Do you need anything? James Hawker. Wasn't he dismissed from the FBI for having shot a witness?
It was a suspect. It's a fine line between the two sometimes. Whichever it was, Hawker lost his head and killed a man who did not present an immediate threat. It's inexcusable.
Is that why you refused to take a new partner into the field for almost 2 years? I would have probably done the same thing in your place.
You're too curious, Garrus. Focus your brain cells on what happened in this room. Well, let the search continue. Time's not on our side.
Okay.
This remote control fell under the bed. There might be intact prints on it. I must take a sample of this clue. The safe is empty.
Okie dokie. Is that everything? Oh, I guess so.
McPherson here.
Help! Help me! The killers abducted me!
Hernandez, where are you? Are you okay?
Oh, my head is spinning. I feel strange. My phone. Must be McPherson. She must be trying to locate me.
Alright, well, let's save the game here, and that'll be it for now.
Careful. There's glass everywhere. McPherson? Have you located me? Have you figured out where this miserable house is?
In a quiet place. Don't worry, we won't be disturbed.
You won't get away with this. I've warned McPherson. The FBI and the police will soon be here. They know exactly where I am.
The funniest thing is that you seem to believe what you're saying. I have a deal for you. If you manage to get out of here, I'll consider setting you free. I've prepared a few surprises for you on your path to freedom. Just to spice things up a little.
Please, let me go.
Come on, pull yourself together. Oh, one last thing. While you were unconscious, I injected you with a little dose of poison. You should already be feeling the symptoms. Vertigo, weakness, nausea, and death. Eventually. You better start looking for the antidote. And don't forget, the collar enables me to bring you back to reason. Good luck, gorgeous.
This tap seems to be working. I've got to get the clasp open on this goddamn collar. Locked.
Oh, good.
The photo of a movie star? Maybe to remind me that now I'm starring in a movie too. With a complete psychopath directing. It's too high for me to open it.
Scoot the bed over. Can we not do that? You can't use your own phone? Oh, okay. Apparently that intense music was coming from my phone.
These inscriptions, are they here to help me or scare me? A severed hand. Oh my god. Ugh. It's stuck. I need something to pry it open. He's filming me with surveillance cameras.
Okay. Use it on the glass. Come on.
If I walk on these shards, I'm going to cut myself really badly. A memory card. I can read its contents on my voice recorder.
This is Paloma Hernandez, reporting live from Jackman, Maine. Agent McPherson, have you found any clues? No comment. Yet lost.
It's the audio from a report I did on the East Coast killer. It looks like a fuse box. The cable goes through the wall. It's locked. It's locked. But the latch doesn't look very strong.
Okay.
A new victim of the East Coast killer has been discovered. I have with me now one of the agents in charge of the case, James Hawker.
The investigation is proceeding as planned. No comment.
Today, January 13th, the lifeless body of Dolores Wilkins was found by local police by the side of a lake. The discovery of the body confirms the authenticity of the video clips which were broadcast last week. We know now that the so-called East Coast killer is no hoax.
The label indicates that this bottle contains a chemical reactant. To separate the true from the false? What does that mean? 4 vials filled with liquid. It says which one on the base.
Okay. Wasn't that one?